it's K-Dubs, and I realized in packing for a big trip that this would be the perfect opportunity for me to explain what to pack in long distance backpacking trips. So I've got all my stuff sprawled out here, and I thought that I would make a short video about each and every item and how I hiked the Appalachian Trail with just this. Let's do it. I chose to go the ultralight method because I'm a wimp and I didn't want to carry a big sturdy backpack. So I went with a Gossamer Gear Gorilla backpack and I love it. It held up awesome and it is just a stuff sack. So everything goes in one hole and you could put plenty of treats and Doritos in there. But the important thing about this backpack that I love is that this hip belt is adjustable. You order the size online to fit your needs, and this hip belt has some really nice convenient little pockets here that you can keep stuff that you need to access often. It's also adjustable too with this clip here, so as you lose weight pretty much on the second day of hiking you can make it tighter. It also has a support strap up top, so it goes across your chest and takes all the weight off of your shoulders and puts it onto your hips. I never had a problem with this backpack, and my total weight after a refill in town was about 35 pounds. So this is less than a pound, and it made carrying all of this stuff way easier. So everybody always wants to know what I wore. This is it. I'm a weirdo, and I kept my shirt and pants because of memory lane's sake. But this shirt was a Under Armour shirt. I cut it when I made to the top of Katahdin to look like a movie star. But it dried out quick because it is all made of synthetic material. The pants are also synthetic. Don't wear cotton when you're doing long distance hiking because you're gonna get wet no matter what. Same goes for your jackets. I had two jackets, or things to keep me warm. One being a fleece, which I actually found on the AT, but even when fleece gets wet, it stays warm, which is a really big bonus. And then at night, I had a puffy jacket, a down jacket to wear, but I never wore that in the rain or snow because down is useless when it is wet. And in order to keep your clothes dry, you put your clothing that you're not wearing in a bag like this, these dry bags, which are super cheap. At Walmart, it was like 12 bucks for 3 of them. So I have one for my clothing, one for my food just because it made it easier to carry and pull out of that backpack, and then another smaller one for electronics. And inside of here I've got 2 pairs of socks, a town dress, and my pajamas. So that's all the clothing you have pretty much when you hike. Here's my town dress, so when I'm washing my disgusting hiking clothes I can wear that and look really good in town. And then I got some fuzzy pants for sleeping and some sleeper socks because it does get cold out there, and then a thermal shirt to wear to bed when you're in the shelter or in your tent. So you don't have a lot of clothing. Thing I recommend if you really want to have a lot of clothing is to bring an extra pair of socks. The hardest thing about hiking is not putting on wet socks, it's imagining putting on wet socks. So if you have the luxury of putting on a dry pair of socks, you are golden. I also wore a very fashionable hat, which I have taken everywhere with me. So every single state I've been on. Sorry, that's just me bragging. But I've worn this stupid ugly hat. But wearing a hat with a brim like this keeps the rain out of your face, even if you got a hood on, and or a rain jacket. So I also have a sleeper, I don't know what you freaking call that. It's a hat, a winter hat that's like a beanie, I guess, that you can wear because it does get cold at night, especially when you're in the whites, no matter what time of year. And on this trip to New Mexico, it's going to be short. I'm taking a luxury item and taking my rain jacket that, since I'm only going to be out there for 6 days, it's not a big inconvenience, but on the AT, I just got wet. For sleeping, I have a tarp tent when the shelters are full or I just want some alone time. And honestly, having your own tent is the bomb when you just want that well-needed alone time, or if the shelter's full and it's raining. So this is held up by my trekking poles. So I use one of my trekking poles that extends. So here's one that's not extended, and here's one that's extended. You can adjust to the height that you want, by using your trekking poles, and then also you have to use tent stakes in order to hold down your tarp tent. But the trekking poles are an awesome place to put duct tape, and you can see I got 2 colors here because I have used lots of duct tape to fix lots of things. It's also a cute place to put some memorabilia from some cute hikers. Let's see what else we got. Oh, in order to have a boundary layer, because the tarp tents don't have a boundary layer in the bottom, so there is some Tyvek, which has become very popular on the trail. You can buy it at Lowe's like for super cheap, or if you have a friend that does a lot of building, you can just get a little piece to put underneath you, and it has a boundary layer in between you and the ground, so moisture is gone. And then a thermarest, Z-Light. There, I have the long one. Some people have really short ones, and you can have roll-up mats. But this creates a boundary in between you and the cold earth. So it makes a boundary zone so you can maintain your heat instead of sleeping on the cold ground. My sleeping bag is a Enlightened Equipment sleeping bag that is down, and it is rated for 30 degrees. And again, since it is down, it is useless if it gets wet. So you need to protect your down sleeping bag, if that's what you have, and honestly your sleeping bag in general, by just using a good old-fashioned garbage bag. So I carried about 3 garbage bags on the trail at all times, just in case. You know, you wrap stuff in from the bottom, stuff a garbage bag in, stuff all your stuff into your bag, and then put another bag on top, or a bag around your really precious items, like your sleeping bag and down jacket. Let's see what else we got. Food bag, talked about it already. Little mini first aid thing, something to repair rips in your down jacket, and some Velcro, gauze pads, and some antibacterial lotion. And of course, ibuprofen is going to be really important on the trail because you will probably eat 6 of them a day. And I also have in here some some Benadryl in case somebody has an allergic reaction, which kind of happens a lot. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, I'm a big nerd, so taking a field guide was kind of fun, and I recommend taking cash when you go, because if you are on a trail, you will have a high incidence of being in places where technology is not, and people only deal in cash still. It's kind of cool. Let's see. I recommend getting a really crappy MP3 player so you don't drain your phone. This thing's battery lasted like for days because it was off, and it had a large storage little disc instead of utilizing your phone's data and energy, which sometimes you won't have any. I've got 2 flashlights, a headlamp, and a handheld flashlight, pocket knife, and just some hand sanitizer and some baby wipes to give yourself like a mini bath when you get into the shelter at night or whatever. You will get greasy, and the wipes won't take the grease off your hands after a couple of days. But something that's really important to add to your pack, because you have those baby wipes and food wrappers, is a plastic bag for your trash. Don't put trash all over the trail. Kind of ruins it for everybody else, including your orange peels. I hate when people do that. Being a lady, I have, lady obligations. So there is some like feminine care, and also your toothpaste and toothbrush are in that bag. Kind of a necessity. Don't be nasty and not clean yourself. It's not an excuse. And then as a fun scientist, always take your tubes and your Sharpie to label and take samples. But man, one more thing. Of course, you have your massive cords. Very important to listen to podcasts and stuff while you're hiking, because it gets kind of boring after a couple of days and hours. This is a battery. It's on Amazon for like $20. It's called Anchor. It's pretty legit. It holds like 6 charges for an iPhone, and it charges way faster than a wall plug does. And I use it every day still. It's a great investment, and I recommend it to everybody, not just hikers. Also, the most important thing, Sore Squeeze for water. Mini water filter. 0.1 microns. You don't need to be a scientist to understand that. Nothing's getting through that bad boy except for water molecules. Okay, I did have an additional thought. As a lady, a lot of people ask me, oh, did you take a gun? No, I did not take a gun. The only weapon I had was my pocket knife and I guess a trekking pole. I personally am very against people bringing guns. One, because it weighs a ton of weight, and also because it just makes a dangerous situation. Chances are people aren't going to want to be your friend if they know you have a gun. I didn't meet anybody on the Appalachian Trail that I thought I should use a gun on. Are you getting your stink all over my hiker stuff? Good, because that'll bring the cougars in. I thought about something else too. What I ate since I didn't have a stove was candy. Lots of candy. And I also ate like protein bars and things like that. This was a big favorite, and I actually cannot wait to open this while I'm hiking. And nuts. Peanut butter, Nutella were big. Pepperoni and cheese. A block of cheese will last in your bag for a couple of days. So I was actually making sandwiches because I was carrying mayonnaise. You can get those little packets like at Subway and stuff, so you don't have to worry about refrigerating it. So little packets of mayonnaise and mustard and relish and ketchup and stuff on potato bread with pepperoni and cheese. There was also gummy bears is a big one, and Pop-Tarts, and baby food. Baby food's a really good one. And I think that's about it. And I made it, and I don't think I lost too many brain cells. Did miss coffee. So having those Crystal Light kind of plus energy packets for your water was a really big bonus. But I don't know. I don't really want to carry the weight of a stove or have to think about buying canisters for it, because it's an additional stop to go find a store that has fuel canisters if that's what you go for. You can do it without a stove. It's not terrible. Okay, and that's it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of easy way of living, but not much more I can talk about. So if you have any questions, you do a little comment on there, but that's about it. Pretty cool, huh? See ya.
I got more tail in that back coat. You faker than some sweet and low. Yeah, you got some silverware, but really, are you eating though? Are you eating though? Nigga, are you eating though?
Bye, bitches.